Hi, my name is Michael Cole. I've been TAing here at the archery class at BYU-Idaho for the last 4 semesters, and today we are going to learn how to serve the string or cable of a bow. We have both kinds of bows here at the university. We have the recurve like this, and we have the compounds. And we are going to serve a recurve string today, but the same principles apply for the compounds. Sometimes on your bowstring, we have frays that begin to happen on the string where the serving is at. This thick part right here is where the serving is, and this is your strings for your bow. The serving holds these strings together and helps protect them on tension points throughout the motion of the bow. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to remove the old one. This one isn't too bad, so we're going to leave it the same as it is. This here is one that I've already taken apart, and this is where it actually connects to the bow. There are other areas on the string where there is a serving, but this particular part is a little bit more difficult, and so we'll start with that today. The first thing that you need to do is you need to find the center of that string. And we have this cool little jig here that we've made that makes this process a lot easier. So what we do is we have the split strings. You see how I have them evenly divided, and it should already come that way when you take your old serving off. What you do is you pull this tight using the knock on the string or another part that's already served, because that makes sure that all the strings are equal. And what you do is you pinch these together, and you take a marker or a thing of fingernail polish, and you bring these strings together, and you mark on there that center point. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull these strings apart. Okay, keeping them equally divided, and see how I'm going all the way down to the next serving. And I keep this tight, because if I don't, the strings will be offset and one will have more lag in it than the other. So in order to get started, my midpoint is right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and I'm going to divide the string. You don't have to do it perfectly in half, but I'm going to put the string right in the center of it. Okay? And after I do that, I'm going to fold this string, the loose end, over here, so that when I serve, it's going to wrap that right into itself, and you have a less chance of this coming apart in the future. So now the hard part, getting the tension proper. Okay? You don't want it to freely spin, but you want it to move enough that it's going to keep good tension on the bow. So what I like to do is also on this serving reel, the short end of where the hole is on top here is the way it's going to walk when you start. And getting started is usually one of the hardest parts here, just because things are a little bit, it's not in motion yet, so it's kind of harder. So what I like to do is just kind of go around a couple times, not necessarily keeping it tight, just so that I can get it started. So once we go around about 3 or 4 times, you cinch it tight against itself. And what you're going to do is you're going to spin this reel until it walks the whole reel up, right up against the string. And this is where you'll start to mess with the tension to get it so that it's nice and tight up against the string. And once you cross over that middle mark, almost to it, and you need to mark your serving with that marker. And you just keep going about half the distance that you went on this side of that mark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it where that middle mark is. Okay? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to serve over top of that other serving. Just what we did is we came across and double served this area right here. where we did half of the serving that was on the one side, and we folded it in the center and we wrapped around. And what we did is we rolled all the way across, and you go about 4 to 5 inches. Now what we are going to do is we are going to finish the serve. How do you keep the serving that you just made from coming undone in the future? So what we're going to do here is I have a piece of extra serving. The serving is pretty strong string, so it's probably the best stuff to use, and just cut it off before you start doing the serving in the first place, or take one of your extra strings that you just unwrapped to do the old serving. And what I like to do is I like to just put about 1 inch worth of string coming out on this side, and so that when I serve over top of it, I can put the end of the serving through the new loop I'm about to make, and I can pull it through and it tightens on itself, and it's secure. It's not going to go anywhere. So I start to wrap here, and you might need an extra pair of hands, because as you wrap, this string right here can go around and it's a little harder to pull through. So Jake, do you want to stick your hands in here and help me out? So just hold that, he holds that string there, and I'll just go ahead and serve over this. And you'll want to do about 1/2 inch worth of serving. If you do less, it has a chance of coming undone. If you do too much, you can't pull the string through. So as I'm coming across here, there's a 1/4 inch. And this here you don't want as tight as the rest of the serving, because as you pull the end through, it'll actually cinch itself and make it tight. So I loosened it up just a little bit so that's a nice smooth serving going across this extra string underneath. What I do is I just pull that, and I burn the end here so we don't get any hard ends. And what I'll do, all right, thank you, Jake, is you open up this hole that you just made with this other string, and you put the end right through the loop. And I like to pull it down close to where the serving's at here, so that when I pull this through, it grabs it, and I don't have this won't fall back, the end won't fall back through the hole. And it's hard to pull on this stuff, so we like to take a pair of pliers, a Leatherman or needle nose pliers or something, and you twist the end of it in there, and all you have to do is pull until this extra string comes out, and then you take these pliers and you pull the end. I may have got a little too much sticking out, but a little harder to pull through. And then I just pull it all the way through. That's the end of your string. And you can put a little dab of glue on there, but it's not necessary with this knot that we just tied. You just burn it off so that it doesn't fray. Melt it in, push it on there, and you got yourself a new serving. Today we've just learned how to serve on your bowstring, and it's a very important skill that you can learn, and I hope that you'll join us next time to learn some more skills to be able to help you make your own repairs in the